Welcome everybody to another episode of Anger Management, a man's podcast. I'm Sasha, one of the hosts today. The co-host Aaron, again, will not be making it today. Aaron still got a lot of stuff going on with him. Me and him been in communications, talking about everything's almost cleared up. Hopefully everything will be straightened out. But until then, you got me. I'm going to have to keep this thing has to keep rolling in order for something to be successful. Just like the Pittsburgh Steelers from the 90s, next man up. You got to keep it rolling. This thing keeps going no matter what. It can't stop. So I'm just going to be going for today. So today's show, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do something different. Normally, you would want to talk about something, talk about a certain thing, bring up a subject, sports-wise. What did we learn from last week's games? That's what one thing is. I'm going to talk about last week's games. Just break it down a little bit. I'm pretty sure everybody's getting tired of oh my God, everybody breaks it down. But I just want to do my perspective. One thing that I've learned, do a couple of things what I've learned prospectively. For the NFL. And then the main thing I want to do is I want to talk about and then when we go into the another thing I want to talk about, I want to just talk about something that Aaron, he has yet watched. And I know he's been getting on me saying, Sasha, you need to watch Spider-Man Far From Home. And because he wants to do a show about it, he wants to give me my perspective on it. I mean, we do a good job. We play off of it. But I'm be honest with you, I've been delaying wanting to watch it because after watching Endgame, and I'm going to be in the minority in this, I didn't like Endgame. Endgame to me did not seem like everything was on the line. It just seemed like it was a Marvel movie with we want to restore order. How do we restore order? Okay, we are going to do it this way. Now we need a villain. How do we get a villain involved? Oh, we're going to have to bring Thanos back in here. So let's go ahead and do it this way. And it didn't make it to me. I didn't like it at all. So I'm not very fond of Endgame. Everybody says that Far From Home was a good movie. It's a good movie. And I'm taking a word for it, but I'm just not really up in arms for it. But I'm probably going to go to the Dollar Theater because I know it's there. I'm probably going to go to the Dollar Theater, just check it out, and go from there. And then me and him, he can stop bitching about, hey, you need to watch it. But Aaron, I'm going to go watch it, but you need to watch Cobra Kai. Cause that's what I'm going to discuss over here. I want to talk about Cobra Kai. And I'm going to just break it down and give my own 2 cents about it. So yes, there will be spoiler alerts on this. So just put it on there. But let's talk about the NFL. What have we learned? Let's put it like this. Buffalo Bills are a lot scarier than a lot of people than you could think about. And I will say it this way. If Buffalo wouldn't have turned the ball over so many times, Josh Allen wouldn't have thrown those 3 interceptions. Matt Barkley wouldn't have thrown that interception marching down the field. They would have converted on that 4th and goal. Turned a couple of those field goals into touchdowns. They'd be undefeated, and New England would be 3-1. Buffalo's on that cusp of being a better team, but they just need more play from that quarterback. That quarterback position needs to be a lot better. Frank Gore played exception. Had just showed that he's ageless. I've said this before. Frank Gore. He's one of my favorite running backs, and not just saying because he's a former 49er. Because to be honest with you, if you're going to ask me who's my favorite 49er running back of all time, Frank Gore is there, but he's not there. If you know what I mean. I'm probably going to go with either Garrison or Roger Craig, and then sneaking up behind him will probably be Frank Gore. Those two are going to probably be my 2 favorites. But I digress. So we'll go back to that subject later on down life's road when need be. But all in all, I know it's early in the season. I'm just saying it's early in the season, so nobody should be like, oh, up in arms. Oh, New England's in trouble. As much of a fan that I may be wanting to be like, oh man, New England is in trouble. But let's just be for real here. We've seen this time and time again when it comes to New England. New England doesn't show up a lot of the time. It just comes to mid to late seasons when you know who they are. That's when you do that. And plus, again, they're playing in the freaking AFC East. So all I'm saying is that Buffalo is looks like they are a quarterback away, or a quarterback making a play away from being a scary team. Baltimore. Now, Baltimore may have lost, but I'm going to say Baltimore lost the game. Cleveland won, of course. You saw the score. They put up 44, but I'm just going to put it like this. Baltimore is really the better team. Baltimore lost their identity because they fell in love with the fact that Lamar Jackson can sit there and he's throwing the ball. Well, my thing is that why don't you get back to what makes you better? Made you that team, that scary team, and that was running the ball. Yeah, you want to throw the ball because this is a passing league, but in the same breath, you got Mark Ingram, you got a nice offensive line, you got Lamar Jackson, you got a defense who will stifle, who's good. And, if you see I'm looking for the words, I'm looking for they're a nice defense, real good defense. So don't get out of your identity just because Lamar Jackson is sitting there flinging the ball. I remember, and I'm going to go back to what the 49ers did because everybody was assuming. I remember this coming into the 2014 season. Colin Kaepernick was sat there in his opening game, threw for over 300 yards. He threw for over 400 yards. And the 49ers, showing like, oh my God, Colin Kaepernick, he's throwing the ball. And I remember Ron Jaworski was saying that he's the best quarterback ever. He'll be probably the best of all time. But Colin still needed to learn how to read defenses. 49ers should have learned how just do what was good for them, which they did. They went back to it later on in the season. Run the ball. This is your strength right now. Yeah, Lamar Jackson did that, and you at least know that they're the threat. So and you know what? I wouldn't live by Lamar Jackson's arm at this point. Cleveland, let's put it like this: a lot of people are a lot of us, were surprised that they beat that. The only people who are probably not surprised are the dog pound. The dog pound are probably the only people that probably knew, hey, we're going to beat Baltimore because they're Browns fanatics, and rightfully so. I want to go to one of their games. I want to sit with the dog pounds. I digress. So, but again, if it wasn't for Nick Chubb and that Baker Mayfield talks to you like, yeah, everybody threw us in the trash, talking shit and all this. Hey, Baker, I hate to be honest with you, man. You're still average to me. When the going gets rough, you're still going to go back to Oklahoma Baker Mayfield, that guy who I saw in that Rose Bowl game, who looked very fanatic, who still rolled out to his right, who sat there and was really kind of who got gun shy, who got very careless with the ball. That's the Baker Mayfield that I remember. And you showed me that on that Sunday night game against the Rams. So what's going to happen, Baker, when you take away Nick Chubb's, and Nick Chubb isn't going to be that guy because somebody's taking away the run and they're going to put the ball in your hand. And teams are blitzing and teams are getting to you. Are you going to see ghosts? And then you're going to talk shit again? Or what? Cleveland's defense is legit. If I've known, Denzel Ward and Greedy Williams weren't even in the game. They're out, and their secondary is still holding their own. They're legit. I have to say that right there. Cleveland's front is legit. So I do look forward to seeing the Cleveland Browns, flourishing. But Baker Mayfield to me has to be able to show that he is that guy. Dallas Cowboys. Again, I'm a Cowboy hater. I hate the Saints. But if you want to be honest, I have to take a drink real quick. I'm trying to get in shape, so I'm drinking whey protein, a shake, and mixed with the banana, put in the blender. It tastes pretty good. I'm having berry shake. Gotta try that. I digress. The Cowboys, to me, I know I've been getting on them saying, oh, who did they play? They haven't played anybody. Well, they played against the Saints, and you can say, well, Drew Brees wasn't in there. Well, you know what? It's not about who's not in there. It's just the fact that the Saints are the Saints, and they are what, 3-1 right now. And they are top of their division. So we're not taking anything away from the Saints. I don't think so at all. Teddy B, big fan of his. He did what he was supposed to do. Don't mess off the game. Do not put the team in a bad situation. The running game dictated everything. The defense did everything that they could do. Dallas shot themselves in the foot. on every chance they got, they shot themselves in the foot. Dallas is legit. Again, I'm a Dallas hater, but Dallas is legit. And I'm tired of hearing people talk about, oh, the refs did this, and the refs screwed us over, the refs did this, the refs did that. You know what? If you want to blame the refs for everything, then fine. That's on you. If that's your excuse, you can go to sleep at night. But just put it like this. Your favorite team went in there, and they shot themselves in the foot a couple of times. They shot themselves in the foot a couple of times, which could have resulted in points. Take those turnovers away. Take away certain penalties. Take away certain plays. Dallas could have probably won that game. So, again, Dallas is legit to me. Again, Cowboy hater, Saints hater. But I got to give credit. Both teams did what they did. New Orleans took advantage of key turnovers. They've held on to the ball. They won the game. Let's see, another team that we could talk about. Tampa Bay. I know everybody's talking about, the Los Angeles Rams, they sat there and they fucked themselves off. What's wrong with Jeff Goff, Jared Goff, whatever the fuck his name is? Fuck him, because again, I hate the Rams. But you know something? Nobody's talking about Tampa. Nobody's giving the Bucs any credit. And that's one thing I can't stand. Is that when a team loses, like one of these top echelon teams out there, either division champions, NFC champions, AFC Super Bowl champs, and when they lose, they talk about how they lost instead of giving credit to the team that won. Then they'll turn around, oh yeah, but this team divided the scheme and they won the game. Fuck it. Let's give credit to Bruce Arians. Everywhere this man goes, he sits there and he can bring a quarterback to life. I've said this before and I said this again. I believe in Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians is legit. You look at every quarterback that he's been in contact with. He sat there and made them look great. And it looks like he's doing that right now with Jameis Winston. So the way how he looked, and there was that one play that caused for the pick six. You can say, really, Jameis? But again, give it a moment. I told this one guy when I went to Buffalo Wild Wings after when the Bucs lost to the Niners. This one guy was really upset. Like, I'm trying to look at this guy. F Jameis Winston. F him. I'm like, you know what? Just give it a moment, because Bruce Arians is legit. He's known to resurrect careers. Yeah, well, I'm tired of looking at him. Give it a moment. Give it by week 5 or 6. You're going to change your tune. Now, if you look at the second game against Carolina, he had a pretty good game. When you look at the game against the Giants, you can say that he wasn't the cause of them losing the game. When you saw him against the Rams, you saw, okay, I like this. Again, but it's too early to tell. You don't know if he's going to resort back to any bad habits, but right now you got to give credit to where credit is due. And I do like the way how they played. I like the way how Ronald Jones III is running, Peyton Barber. I like how Chris Godwin is playing. Those two have become a nice 1-2 combination with Cameron Brate and O.J. Howard. The offensive line is looking great. Again, these guys can definitely be undefeated if you take away, again, against my Niners, they could have won that game, but the Niners defense just basically took advantage of the Bucs mistakes. So the Bucs capitalized on the 49ers mistakes. And again, a bad field goal attempt by, we're not going to mention his name, so if I do, I'm going to get in trouble. But either or, they could be undefeated as well. Another thing, so that's where I'm going to go with this right now. The NFL season is early. Right now, week 5 is going to be great. I can't wait to see a couple of games. The Monday night game, Niners versus the Browns. I'm going to probably be at work watching that and so I'm going to have to find a way how to watch it because it's going to be on ESPN and Spectrum TV doesn't have that shit. I'll figure it out. But I really do like what I see. I see in this NFL, this upcoming right now this season. So that's all that I want to say. What things that we've learned in NFL.